right, everybody, we've got a special update for you on the Senate vote to attempt to codify abortion into federal law. This was, again, going much further than just Roe versus Wade. It has failed. And it failed 51 nay votes to 49. So all 50 Republicans plus one Democrat, Joe Manchin, voting no. Now, this is interesting. Joe Manchin was the last vote. So I want to go right to Than Bennett, Washington, D.C. Than, you think that was important to note as well, because it means that they were working Joe Manchin until the last minute. They had the vice president there because of a vote earlier that they needed her to be the 51st vote on. So they had it set up that if they could have convinced Manchin, they could have tried that nuclear option on the filibuster.
I really do think that's what it means, Jordan, especially since the vice president was there. Now, she was there for a vote prior to that, a nomination vote, but she stayed for this vote. So if they could have convinced Joe Manchin at the very last moment to go along with him and to get that 50th vote, they would have had all of the pieces in place, Jordan, to go nuclear, to circumvent the filibuster, and to push this across the line. But again, I just want to reiterate this. Yeah, this is a win for today, but Jordan, it's a win on the narrowest of margins. Not only did you just win by one vote, you won by the one vote that was willing to hold out until every Senate Republican went down and voted yes, and theoretically, he couldn't get a deal with his majority leader. So it's a win for today, Jordan, but I'm telling you, this vote's going to roll around again.
Go ahead. Now, what we know, Dad, is that they are already looking at the next set of legislation, which is the more traditional codification of Roe, keeps in some of those state restrictions. Still bad, but it's a Republican endorsed plan from Murkowski and Collins. They were already talking about that in the media. The question is, does Planned Parenthood, the abortion industry, endorse that plan?
So here's this was exactly what we said it would be. Once the opinion was leaked, or the draft opinion was leaked, they went into legislative mode, and they within a week were able to get onto the floor of the United States Senate a vote that was to expand Roe versus Wade, to expand the right to abortion in an unprecedented way. That failed, but as you all both said, very narrow. Before the vote took place, the media was already discussing the fact that, Don't worry, we've got the next bill coming up. That bill is drafted by Senator Murkowski and backed by and co-sponsored by Susan Collins, and that is a straight codification of Roe versus Wade. And interesting today, Joe Manchin, who claims to be pro-life, said he would vote in favor of that.
Yeah, so I mean, that's where you have to look at again. This is not done. What was good today is that it wasn't just Republican and Democrat. There was a Democrat willing to cross over, but you have to watch very carefully. I want to thank everybody for supporting this matching moment that we launched just less than 20 or a little bit more than 24 hours ago yesterday on our broadcast. You still have time to support that because at aclj.org, you can still get that, be part of that matching challenge till midnight tonight. And it's just a matching moment, so it's just been the last 24 hours. But a huge thank you to those of you who have responded. You fought for life. We are engaged and ready to go because, Stan, I know we haven't heard from Chuck Schumer yet because they're doing another vote on a nomination. But I have a feeling this is not going to be the last time we have a situation like this.
Yeah, no, you're correct on that, Jordan. I mean, he got from 51 on the substance of codifying Roe to 52 today. He added Joe Manchin's vote on substance. Now, he still does not have 50 votes on circumventing the filibuster. He's probably got an issue with two members of both parties, Murkowski and Collins on the Republican side, and Manchin and Sinema on the Democrat side. But Jordan, again, we've said this before, but you know Leader Schumer. Do you think he's looking for those two votes in the United States Senate to circumvent the filibuster now that he's got 52 on substance? I guarantee you he is.
Well, look, we said we're prepared for a multi-prong approach here. We said we're going to look at all the alternatives, so this was a good victory. Day one, we got this one done. They're going to come back with another one, could be as early as next week. We then have already drafted legal memorandums that we've distributed to the Senate, to all 100 members of the United States Senate, saying you don't have the constitutional authority to do this under the necessary and proper clause, commerce clause, and so forth. Now, the next phase of this will be if they were to do what you and Than have just been discussing, that is somehow get this language through that is being really pushed by two Republicans as the prime authors. Then you have a whole different ballgame here. Yeah. And that's when we've got to be very particular. I'm looking at, we had a lot of comments coming in on some of the social media platforms we're on right now, and people are happy. They're saying, thank God that we won. We're thrilled. But we know, they're all saying, but we know there's going to be another round. And that round could be right away.
Yeah, and that'll be, again, we'll have to watch very carefully. And I don't think that the Planned Parenthood groups have yet to endorse that position, certainly not publicly. They wanted this legislation, which is a lot broader, which, like we said, would have gotten rid of all the state restrictions on abortions, way broader than Roe versus Wade. So, but now that they know the reality of where it stands and what they can actually get, they have to then balance that with a likely. They saw a draft leaked opinion from the Supreme Court that overturns Roe versus Wade. If they can get Congress to reinstate it by using 2 Republican votes to do so, 2 Republicans who voted no today because they said this is too extreme, this language, we've got to stay vigilant on the legislative front, on the legal front, and then, of course, we have to be ready to go for the state battles. If these legislative efforts, which we hope fail, the battles, once the Supreme Court opinion is out, is going to return right to the states.
It's interesting because I said I'm monitoring comments coming in on some of the social media platforms, and it's interesting. People say this is a great win for round 1. I know you all are prepared for round 2. We are. We're prepared for round 3 and 4. Now, remember, the intimidation campaign on the justices is ongoing. Yep. That's taking place still, the protests in front of their homes.
That opinion is not official. That
opinion is not official until it is released by the court as the opinion of the court, which generally in a case like that you would expect towards the end of June. Maybe. It comes out sooner than that because we are getting near the end of the term, but we don't know that. So we do know this, that we were successful in round 1. A huge thank you to our members that participated in our matching moment. That's good until midnight tonight. We will just use that funds for round 2 of this. Believe me, there is a round 2 already developing, which I was going to ask Stan, I mean, how quick could they move on the Murkowski language?
As quick as they wanted to, Jay. I mean, look, it's why you prepare on multiple fronts and then you win a day at a time. Again, I think you said it right. We won today, Jay. That's a good thing, but there is another round and likely multiple rounds coming. It's really just as fast as they could do 2 things. 1, tee it up, and 2, what Jordan said, convince the abortion lobby that that's the most they can get.
Yeah, so again, we're going to monitor that closely, folks. We want to give you this breaking update. I want to thank everybody for being part of our matching moment. You still have until midnight tonight to double the impact of your donation, this quick 24, 36 hours that we did this matching moment. But again, you can share this with your friends and family. Let them know that we have won this first round of the vote. They tried to catch everybody off guard really quick to schedule this vote. We weren't caught off guard. We're ready to go for round 2 to defend life.
And I'll tell you what, folks, again, our matching moment is good until midnight tonight. So just go to aclj.org or respond to the email that you may have just received or the text. But this was a good win on round 1. We are ready for round 2. You could rest assured at the ACLJ. ACLJ.org. We'll talk to you tomorrow.